122, 122 and an 8. 122 and an 8. Terrific. Where the heck is 122 and an 8?
You're standing on it, dude. Just slip it down here. Give me that.
Hey, this is a 10. The tab's 13.
You're 2 minutes late, dude.
Ah, come on. I couldn't find a place.
Wise man say forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.
I gotta get a new route.
Much more than just a series of small, isolated incidents, it's now apparent that an organized criminal element is at work. What some are already dubbing the silent crime wave.
Watch!
April O'Neil, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
She's a babe.
Your ninja skills are reaching their peak.
Excellent!
Find them. Together we will punish these turtles.
What's wrong?
Splinter.
These JV lowlifes need to be taught a lesson.
Not like that, they don't.
Who say that our recent crime wave is reminiscent of a secret band of ninja thieves who once operated in Japan.
So what do we do now? What's that? A fellow chucker, eh? Does anybody have any idea about who or what this is?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They were the creation of Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. The Turtles debuted in the first issue of their self-titled comic book back in 1984, which the two friends self-published. From this humble beginning, the strange concept of these martial arts gifted turtles would ignite a surprising level of success that continues to this day. The history of the Ninja Turtles and how they grew into such a popular brand is a captivating one. I always thought their rise to becoming such a beloved IP was more interesting a story than the Turtles themselves. The Netflix show, The Toys That Made Us, devoted an episode to the Turtles, and it's fascinating to see how the small oddball idea grew to become one of the most popular toy brands during the 1980s, and how they evolved into other media ever since. So while I think the story of the Turtles' creation and the popularity they reached is pretty darn interesting, I can't say I've ever been a fan of the Turtles themselves. They've never been something that caught my interest or I ever spent much time thinking about. However, back when their first theatrical film was going to hit, my friends and I ventured to the theater to check it out. I thought perhaps the movie would turn me into a Turtles fan. But sadly, it didn't. I didn't think much of it then and haven't watched it again until now. And my reaction remains the same. Not to sound dismissive or mean towards it, I know there are a lot of Turtle fans, and they love the movie. It's just not for me, and I guess never will be. Really, thinking back on it, more of a draw for me to see that movie was knowing that Jim Henson worked on it and created the Turtles' costumes. Henson, I was a big fan of, and I was more curious to see his latest work than seeing the Turtles in a big screen adventure. I still remember the day Henson died and how my friends and I talked about him the entire day. He died the same day as Sammy Davis Jr., I remember. There's a bit of trivia for you. Anyway, so the movie. You already have an idea of my feelings towards it, but... Okay, so there's a mysterious crime wave in New York City, headed by the evil Shredder. He and his ninja Foot Clan are luring troubled kids to steal for them. They're being tricked into thinking they'll become part of a family with these baddies, but really they're being used as pickpocketing tools. There's a young Sam Rockwell. He's enjoying himself being a young street punk. Reporter April O'Neil is putting the pressure on the mayor and cops to do something about this crime wave. April gets attacked and is saved by our shadowy heroes. There's a bit of build-up to the reveal, and when we do get to see them, I thought they looked pretty good. They're cartoony looking in their costumes, but they can move pretty well. which comes in handy when they have their fight scenes. They do kind of look like giant Muppets in a way. When the Turtles' mentor Splinter is kidnapped, all gloves come off, and they're on a mission to rescue him. April lends a hand, along with street vigilante Casey Jones. A young delinquent by the name of Danny gets schooled in some life lessons from Splinter, who shows him the light. And the Turtles unleash their ninja skills on endless baddies to some 90s music, much to the delight of fans in the audience.
Can you believe this guy? Come on, don't just ninja kick the damn rabbit!
I always thought of this as like a Saturday morning movie. I never thought there was anything that special about it. There are some pros I do enjoy with the movie. I like how they went with a dark, gritty look to everything. We were now in the age of Tim Burton's Batman, and everyone suddenly realized that all kid movies didn't have to look shiny and bright, but you could actually create some moody atmosphere and tone to it, and kids would still dig it. The film has light moments, but it all takes place in a pretty miserable, dirty-looking city, and has some dramatic moments with the Turtles being concerned with saving their father figure Splinter. The Turtles always seemed interchangeable to me. I never really got much distinguishing characteristics between them, other than Raphael, who is immediately established as having a short fuse and pent-up anger issues. The others, well, if they weren't wearing their different color masks and each holding their unique weapons, I wouldn't be able to tell them apart. It's funny, this was a time when the selling point to a movie was Corey Feldman providing the voice for Donatello. I mean, how strange is that to consider? I'm not sure if Turtle fans were happy with Feldman's selection, or if he lived up to the expectations of the part, or how that went down. I just remember he was the only voice I knew. Splinter comes off the best. He's got his heavy, inspiring speeches, and the voice actor and the puppet working together. It sells it all very well. Of course, there's the trope that he has a history with the main villain to make a personal connection happen. That part works better than I would have thought. They managed to make Splinter a real and likable character, and Shredder is an ominous, dangerous villain. The story is mainly about them and their eventual confrontation. The human actors, I mean, they're functional for the most part, but, I mean, not that interesting.
Hand me a towel, will you?
Where do you keep the towels?
Charles! No!
What's wrong?
I just don't want you to see my unsightly bathtub ring.
Judith Hoag, who was the first and only time she played April in the movies, she's fine. She doesn't try to eclipse the Turtles. She plays her Lois Lane tough reporter type of character. She gets to flirt with Elias Koteas. They do the annoyed bantering thing back and forth throughout the movie until the end when they kiss. Woo! Koteas is the best human in this. His vigilante, Casey Jones, is pretty cool, and he pulls off his action scenes pretty well. He looks like he can handle himself, and naturally he has his own jokey quips. But ever since seeing him in Crash, that he was so good in, I can't help to shake that depraved character out of my head when I see him in anything else. Even when he's talking with Muppets, I envision him taking photos of automobile accidents as soon as he leaves them. The whole story of young Danny being corrupted and learning right and wrong from Splinter, yeah, okay. I mean, maybe it was a good lesson for kids to see, but it's kind of ham-handed. In fact, the kid angle in the story almost feels like background. I'm more interested in watching these bizarre characters clash than kids learning the lesson it's not right to steal, and that family is important. I suppose it's a positive message to include in this, but I'm mainly interested in watching ninja fights. The 90s slang, it all sounds silly now. All the radical and cowabunga lines. I honestly thought it all sounded corny back then. There are a lot of pop culture references dropped in.
It's a Kodak moment.
And that also makes it unmistakable the time when this was made.
Gosh, it's kind of like moonlighting, isn't it?
The Turtles do Rocky impressions and James Cagney impressions.
Okay. Not Cagney. You dirty rat.
One thing that always gets me about this stuff is I always wonder if the majority of audiences today even know who James Cagney is. Of course, there's pizza, too. The famous pizza. Domino's had a big marketing part with the movie. Ironically, Domino's is like the worst pizza ever. But I guess at the time it was either the movie partnered up with them or Pizza Hut. The fights are all pretty well done. Of course, we all know it's guys in costumes kicking and punching, but that makes it feel much more real and visceral than if they were just CGI creations, like that Michael Bay garbage. The movie can be cheesy fun. Fans who grew up with the Turtles and seeing the movie, it clearly had an impact on them. Getting to see their heroes in live action for the first time on the big screen, I can understand why the film was such a big hit. And it was huge. There's really nothing wrong with the movie, it's just not in my wheelhouse. There's nothing in it that made me want to see further adventures from the Turtles, which to this day, I still have not. I guess the most popular consensus is that this first Turtles movie is the best one. I'll take everyone's word on it, because the likelihood of me ever watching another Turtles movie is pretty slim. I have much more fun watching Enter the Ninja than this.
What's this jazz?
I don't know, brother.
Will I ever see you guys again?
Indubitably. Well, that depends on how fast you stuck your pizza.